Hello and welcome to Gamer Premonitions, Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. This is a bit of a Gamer Premonitions mini, where myself and co-host for this one, Mr. Feel.
Hello.
We're going to be giving our premonitions for the upcoming expansion for Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. This is the grand finale of this 10 or 11 year long arc. The end of the story of the star. We're going to be jumping in here. We each have 4 premonitions. We each have 4 premonitions that we're going to be going into, and about halfway through the show we have a mini lightning round related thing as well. This should be pretty exciting. Now, since I'm the main one driving the bus, I'll defer over to Feel for his first premonition here.
Okay, so the trials for Shadowbringers were the weapons. Inspired by Final Fantasy VII, Emerald, Sapphire, Ruby, and Diamond weapon. Mm-hmm. And they were built on the data they got from Ultima Weapon back in A Realm Reborn. At some point in Endwalker, you will either be it a boss, be it a trial, be it something you get to pilot. The pride and joy, meaning the proud Claude from Final Fantasy VII, will show up. It will be explicitly designed by Nero, and it will look like the Nightingale from Char's counterattack.
Oh my god!
I don't know if it'll be something he built to cause trouble, or if it'll be something he left behind and now someone else is using it to cause trouble, or if it's something he lets you drive because he's upset that Sid let you ride the G-Savior during the warrior quest, during the weapon quest line.
I like Nero a lot.
Yeah, he's great.
I immediately subscribe to this actually being a thing. So this one I had is related to like one of the trials that you'll come up on in the main scenario. So we already know the Magus sisters are going to be in the game in some form. I think they're going to be like a dungeon boss of some sort, or they're just going to appear in some way. And I was thinking about how they could layer in more older Final Fantasy stuff for this. So I feel like one of the trials, if not the first one, I feel like is a bit easier for it. They're going to have the Magus sisters fuse together to become Asura, to recreate that Final Fantasy fight.
This was one of mine, but what they become is different in my premonition.
Oh, okay.
In my premonition, they will fuse together to become Barbarisia.
Oh, God.
Because in Final Fantasy IV, the Magus sisters are her minions. And they said that a lot of this expansion is based on Final Fantasy, or inspired by Final Fantasy IV. So I think it would make sense if the 4 elemental fiends showed up in some capacity in the story.
God, that would be great. God, I like how we basically went for the exact same thing, same game. Man, I'm really excited to see like alternate takes, because already the Magus sisters in 14 look wildly different.
Yeah, very, very different.
Yeah, they're a bit more based on that one new zone that they added, with the use of colors and stuff like that. So,
yeah, I'm most used to the ones from Final Fantasy X, where they're like the bug people.
Yeah, they're just big dumb bugs, and then their dark version is dumb dark bugs. All right, well that's our first round. We're gonna jump into our second set. Feel, what do you got?
Okay, so you got the country of nerds, Charlian.
Yes.
And they're like, we're not going to fucking help you with the end of the world. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Go fuck yourself. I'm going to disown my kids live on stage right now.
I cannot believe.
It will turn out that the Ascians founded Charlian. And that is why they're so fucking weird about it.
Oh, God.
So it'll be another thing like, no, the world isn't ending. Elidibus didn't come tell us it was ending. This can't be right at all.
Like, are you going as far as to be like, their dad is in fact an Ascian in some way?
No. It'll be like it'll be like the way that Emmett Selk was the first emperor of the Garlean Empire. It'll just be like they were founded, and all their philosophy was specifically fed to them by the Ascians to ensure they didn't fuck with their plans at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works. I've got a bit of a softball one for main story stuff. So we have Zenos, really strong guy, really
Yes.
powerful. He's got that scythe. He's killing people as we speak to power up so that he can have a cool Chad fight with you. I feel like when all's said and done with the main story, I feel like Zenos will have killed and caused way more problems for our main antagonist than us, to the degree where he's not going to like kill a major Scion style character or anything like that. I don't feel like he'll explicitly like join us like trust member Zenos or something in a special moment. But I feel like he will fuck something up so royally for the Ashians and the main like Zodiarch plans in this. And that will be like one of his biggest like contributions to the story, aside from, you know, fighting you eventually.
So I had this isn't one of my premonitions, but I did have the cracked out thought. What if they make him a trust party member for one dungeon, but he's the only one you get because he's that powerful?
That would be really good if he just has like all of the abilities of the other types. Like he does some DPS. He can pull aggression should he need to.
He's just mulching these bosses.
That would be really good. I would love to see them do that for like a dungeon that barely even like means anything in a way.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it'd be like really really simple.
Because I feel like something like that has to happen because they want to show off Reaper.
Yeah.
And Alphino becomes the Sage.
Yes.
But Zenos is the Reaper, so they have to either let him be a trust member in some capacity, or they have to give you some big solo duty where he's on your side. Or this would, and since there's precedence for this, because in the patch quest they let you play as Estinian when he's all hopped up on Nidhogg juice.
Oh yeah, that was so good.
They might just let you do that with Zenos.
If they have a moment where they're like, you will now play as Zenos for, you know, one chunk of an area and a boss.
And you make damn Daniel cry because you ruin his plan.
Okay, nothing would be funnier is if they just gave me a solo instance where I can kill Fandaniel. Because I'm like, I need at least one of these people to job really hard in like the first half. And I'm more partial to Fandaniel eating it than Zenos, because Zenos is raw. He has a scythe now.
Yeah. Plus damn Daniel can get owned and then still stay in the story because he's nasty and you have to have the fancy white crystal to kill him.
Yeah, or some other like this.
Or something else when they go, we're fucking sick of using the white crystal. Something else. We want
to do something else that will basically do that function, like how they deal with Elidibus in 5.3. All right, well, we've done half of these. You've told me that you had some sort of lightning round idea. I don't know what it is. I'm excited about it.
It is very simple. They released that Scions of the Seventh Dawn promo art before Endwalker that you could put your own Warrior of Light into, because they're very fucking smart.
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna run down the 8 characters and say whether or not we think they will live through Endwalker.
You know, that's fair.
So let's just go left to right. Tataru, she'll live. KZ?
Yeah. No, they won't. They will not do anything to her at all. No chance.
Estinian, I'm still gonna say he's gonna be fine. KZ?
Yeah, he's gone through enough.
You maybe is also a valid answer here. But
sure.
I need to make that clear. Ishtola, I don't know. They keep mentioning like if your eyes are going to kill you. And the voice actor posted some weird shit.
I feel like she's either untouchable or they're gonna finally do it, because they keep faking out like that they'll do something with her at all.
Yeah, they keep having her like fall off cliffs.
Yeah, and also her skin keeps getting paler as the games go on, so I think she's hollowing out anyway. So I'll say yeah, they'll actually do her in.
Let's just do Alphino and LSA at the same time. I'm gonna say they will be temporarily removed the way Dip and shit are in Final Fantasy IV, but they will not die.
Yeah, I feel like they might do something where, like, my thoughts were they'll do a fake out death for Alpha Node, like maybe 50% of the way through the game, and then he's like maybe in the last hour comes back in some way. But I feel like he'll be removed so that they can give more focus on his sister.
Wow, that's almost like the last 3 expansions.
Yeah.
Graha. I'm going to say he's going to be fine. He's new, and they know he's ridiculously popular.
They'll be killed if they do it, so they're not going to.
It's like the level of Axel having a line about how you can't get rid of him because he's so popular.
Yes.
Urianger. I think he's suffered enough, so he's probably fine.
Yes, that's kind of where I'm at.
Thancred. I think Thancred's gonna die, but it'll be in a way where he gets to go hang out with Minfilia. Like there will be like a scene of him walking into the light with Minfilia. Because he hasn't done anything in Shadowbringers but be depressed.
Yeah, I was thinking of something like that where it's like, oh, maybe he like either he just dies and that's it, or he dies and gets like this. He gets to like ascend back to the first or something like that. In my head, it's like he's going to die in some manner, and we'll see like from his perspective where he gets to walk into the light with Minfilia. Mm-hmm.
Because he's disabled and he's depressed, and it just feels like they don't really have any ideas with him anymore after the shit with Reen and in Shadowbringers.
Yeah, I feel like he's pretty much done all they really need to do with that character. I feel like this, you can just finish things off, and I'm like, he's run his course in a way where I'm like, this is fine. I kind of feel the same way with Ishtola, where she's done enough. I don't necessarily need more.
At least she can hang around and say vicious things to people.
I mean, yeah, after she emasculated that one dude, I feel like she has fully run her...
Magni.
Yes, it's as soon as she just eviscerated that man, I feel like there's nowhere else to go.
And lastly, Kryl. Kryl hasn't fucking done anything, so I feel like we're going to get a lot of content with her, and she will not die, because they're going to be like, okay, she is now a main character.
Yeah, I'm going to say that she's not going to die, because at times I forgot that she existed in this game.
Yeah, she has a bad habit of getting kidnapped or like otherwise put into stasis where she can't interact with the story. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they're going to change that in this expansion, I hope. Cuz they put her in that image. And every other character they put in that image had a lot of presence in the story at some point. And she has not so far.
Yeah. Yeah, just like in general, yeah. There's no point in killing her off just because of how not active she has been. It wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, so that's our Will the Scions of the Seventh Dawn Live lightning round.
Yeah, I'll be really surprised if we actually like get more than like 2 of them to actually like pass in this thing, but it would be really cool.
Yeah, the question is like, it seems like the writer doesn't want to kill characters, but there's some that have been around so long that she might be like, okay, you can go now. This is payback for you killing so many of my characters. Because the writer of Endwalker also created Moonbrina and Isael.
Ah, okay.
And was reportedly very pissed that both of the characters she created died.
All right, so now that we've done our lightning round, we are going to go into our third set, Premonitions. What do we have, Phil? What's happening in this expansion?
Okay, so at the end of 5.3, Alice complains that everybody else got like upgraded and changed to a different class, but her and Alphino did not. And Alphino is changing to Sage, and Alice so far hasn't appeared to be getting shit. So one of 2 things will happen. Either she will change to Reaper, which would be really funny, or later on in the expansion, they will reveal another new class that she will change to in the last parts of the expansion, and that maybe you will get to switch to during the patch quests. Because they have a whole discussion about how I think Alphino literally says, I'm sure we'll get new fighting styles soon. And then he does, but she doesn't. So I figure they're going to give her something.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking in some parts of one of my premonitions, that there will be some sort of like job switch. Which I guess we can go into. I'll use that one as my third. Once the main story ends, because of course they've already said that instead of going up to point 3 patch quest being the end of the story arc, it's just ending once the expansion hits credits. So you don't have to worry about months or like a year of the game putting out 3 patches to like close out the story. It's going to be all new stuff from there. To the degree when they're like, are you going to give the patch quest like a special name? And Yoshi is like, I don't know, we might do something to delineate how different things are going to be going forward. I feel like the Scions are going to be completely dispelled. There will be no more Scions once the game is ended. And at that point, you're going to have this like new party setup that's just going to be the adventures of your character, Alize, who's going to have some sort of, and my premonition, which was like a job shift, would happen basically right as the credits are about to hit. She like is revealed with an updated outfit, so then in the future she's going to have this like this new job we haven't seen yet, and she'll be the one promoting that, but it'll be for the future patch quest stuff. You'll see her performing with it. And then you'll have Kryl, because they've done nothing with her. And then I was thinking like Urianger or Graha would be with you, and it'd be like a team of 4. And since I said Alpha Node is not going to die, I was thinking he would just like try to reform or take over Charlian following the events of this story in some way. I feel like that would be where he'd end up.
That does make sense, because a lot, like half the countries are going to be destroyed after this expansion.
Yeah. So it feels like that's kind of where things will set, and then he's been like your main bro for a while. Makes sense to have him move on and set some things right back in his hometown after all the events happen, and his dad probably dies brutally or pathetically in some way.
Yeah, after he becomes the mod of Reddit.
Finally getting up to some more responsible things. All right, we're gonna move on to our last one. So, Phil, what do you have?
So I kind of think that the expansion in terms of dealing with Zenos will be like the reverse of Stormblood. Because obviously the Warrior of Light is now stronger because he's gone through Shadowbringers. But not only that, the Warrior of Light should be stronger because they fused with Ardbert. So they are technically more technically the Warrior of Light and Graha are more complete than everyone else in the world, because they have 8 people instead of only 7 like everybody else. And because you never beat Zenos one-on-one in Stormblood, I feel like that around level 84, 83, 84, you will do a solo duty where you just humiliate him. Where you just beat his ass one-on-one. And then, like, for the rest of the expansion, he's kind of malding and going into Virgil mode and wanting more power.
I'd really like that, because the way they're writing it now is, he's going to feast on souls, and that'll be the way that he gets his power up. But I like the idea of just a solo, you just completely rinse him once, because we haven't really gotten that.
Yeah, you've only beaten him with a group of 4, and I think even if it isn't a total washout, you will beat him one-on-one in the first encounter. And he'll be like, what the fuck? Losing when I don't have any way to justify it sucks. I'm going to cry for the rest of the expansion. And that might even be why he becomes a trust member. Because he's like, well, you beat me, so I guess you're in charge now.
Yeah,
which would be really funny if the Warrior of Light's just like, yeah, I found this dog. He's with us now, I guess.
I guess.
He says he'll behave because I kicked his ass.
And then everyone says,
and then you
no.
immediately go into the dungeon where he's like, yeah, I can be a trust member for DPS.
Zenos, please stop stealing the limit break. Somehow you're using it before it visually fills up.
Yeah, he's like gets it frame 1. Alice lets it say a couple seconds.
Yeah, yeah, before she's like, I want power. All right,
But yeah, that's my final premonition.
All right, my last main premonition here was, my prediction was, in general, was that in part of this story here, you have that mysterious woman that's like trying to guide you. I think it's like the Lady of Light or something like that. And I feel like the premise of this game is going to be like there's no hope for Hydaelyn at all. Like that's completely screwed. And the main plan that characters like that are going to have is for you to become the replacement Hydaelyn, because you're so powerful by this point. And part of that is going to be you having to fight that specific thing off, because it's like, no, we can't do that.
Okay, I have the opposite premonition. Because in the patch quests, they go in a little bit into Shadowbringers. They go into how Zodiark isn't evil. Like his whole thing is because primals are built on what they're summoned with.
Yeah.
So Zodiark is like, I have to save the original world, and that bleeds down into we have to blow everything else up to save the original world. So I think it's going to go with the angle of, no, she's also like that, and she only exists to counter Zodiark, so that she will actually end up in opposition to the Warrior of Light and the Scions, because it's like, no, I have to check Zodiark, so you're not allowed to actually save the world. That somehow goes against my plan.
Yeah. I was going in so many different directions of how that could go, and other like wishful thinking things of like, I don't know, maybe Fandaniel's like playing people and is actually like doing something different.
Here's another bonus premonition. I think that damn Daniel will be the one who turns into Anima.
Ooh.
Because his whole thing is that fuck you, I just want you all to die. He literally has a cutscene where he points at everyone present and goes, I want you to die, I want you to die, I want you to die.
I think it might be one of the best cutscenes he has.
And that's kind of how Seymour is in Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
Because his whole thing is that everybody should die because dying is more based than being alive.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense if the person with like the same sort of philosophy becomes Anima, because that's Seymour's final ion.
Yeah, I was thinking about something. It was either going to be something like that, or someone in the Garlean Empire that is related to Zenos in some way. It's probably going to end up being like Anima, so that they can keep the Final Fantasy X connection of Anima is like has a familial connection to a major character in the same way Seymour's mom is Anima. So
yeah, I saw somebody say that it would be the dad. Like that would be what happens to Alice and Alphino's dad as he becomes Anima.
Oh yeah, if they do any sort of that type of familial connection. But I feel like the noises or the roar you get toward the end of the patch quest seems like Anima's like probably already in play in some place or in some way.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked. It's like, yeah, this thing's imprisoned like underground in Garlemald or something.
Yeah, maybe he's like Zenos' mom.
Yeah, I was thinking
we don't actually know anything about Zenos' mom.
Yeah. The only point of reference I had was like, I assume they're dead, but they could also just be down there.
Yeah, they're not even mentioned in that short story about him killing his swordsmanship teacher. Mm-hmm. Like they're just nowhere in the lore at all.
Let's see. Let me look through anything else I may happen to have.
Just get out anything else you have.
Yeah, give people any meat that they had here. I had safe softball ones. At some point, Lise might be in danger of dying, and she will be saved by Fordola. Then Fordola might die, and then people would be like,
clap.
"What a."
No matter what, as long as she's gone.
And then I have in parentheses, "Yay, she died, comma. somehow this will force them to write Lise better, or at all.
I don't think anything can give us that.
Nothing filled me with more joy than watching you go through these patch quests and yelling no as soon as she shows up.
Yeah, I'm really upset that we have to keep going back to Alamigo to have, like, council meetings.
Yes.
It's like, what the fuck are the council meetings here? Why can't we have them in Ul'dah? Why do I have to... Never mind the fact that the one zone in the entire game that I do not have flying unlocked in is the locks, because fuck that zone. I have a really easy one.
Oh, okay.
So in every expansion, to alleviate pressure on the servers, they're like, okay, go to one of these two places. You have to go to both, but you can go to them in any order. And that's in all 3 expansions. In Shadowbringers, they put Alice and Alphino in one of each. Like, go meet up with them after all this time, or from their perspective. Mm-hmm. They're going to do that this time and put a Scion on each, and it's going to be Graha and Estinian because they're the new ones.
Yeah.
So it'll be like, okay, go to this zone and hang out with Graha, or go to this zone and hang out with Estinian. And that's pretty much everything I have.
I don't have any other, like, big ones except... small, but Connie Senna's gonna die because no one gives a shit.
Nobody fucking likes her.
No one gives a shit. That place would be improved with her gone. Because I remember basically nothing about her whenever I see her show up. I'm like, oh yeah, you're Gridanian woman. Like, I can at least think about things when it comes to the representation for Ul'dah and for Limsa, but I've just got nothing over there.
Yeah, she's like the most boneless one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's my most far out one that I think has basically no chance of happening, but it would be really funny.
Sure.
Late in the game, like real late, because at Shadowbringers you have Mount Gulg and then you do Crown of the Immaculate. Like, you kind of do the finale twice.
Yeah.
The dungeon before the dungeon at like level 79, because there's always a level 79 dungeon, it will be a special trust dungeon where your party members are they will explain this somehow. Maybe they'll use Kingdom Hearts logic. I don't know. But your party members will be Laha Brea, Elidibus, and Emet-Selch.
God, that would be great. They need to start throwing as much wacky shit as possible, I feel like, for the end of this.
I know that Emet-Selch's has a lot of new voice lines in the trailers.
Yeah, he's the narrator for all of these trailers.
So I feel like there's a chance that they're going to do some shit like, no, they didn't die. You just split them apart. Like, you just sundered them.
Mm-hmm.
So Emet-Selch shows up and is like very self-depreciating because he is now a half man, as he called them. And also it would be really funny just for Laha Brea to be hanging out and exactly as insufferable as he always is.
God, he sucks so bad.
He is. He's like, he was dead before they learned how to write things.
Yeah, I know. That was my thing. It's like he got owned before all the Ashians got to be super good and based. Like, Elidibus lucked out.
Yeah. And then you get that scene where Elidibus is like, you're the reason Laha Brea has died. And it's like, I did nothing.
That was him?
I was not involved in that at all. He's the fucking one who gave Thoradin the eyes. He's the fucking one who was like, you can become a big cool primal. I didn't do any of that. That was all you.
God, he's so bad. I had one more thing. The last thing. This would feel like such a good flex for the very end of the game, where you do the final boss, you do the final trial, and then scenes follow it. And then there's just another one. They actually end the expansion with there being 2 trials in a row.
That would be neat.
Where it's like, here's Final Boss 1, then Final Boss 2. Because this is going to be their biggest one ever. Expansion-wise. So I feel like they could really gun for something on this. So, if they were going to do anything, like, extravagant, I feel like more than what is expected in terms of duties would actually be really cool. this leaves just one question that I was really interested in, which is, how fucked up is this early access launch going to be? How hard?
I don't think it will be so bad because all the vast majority of the new players will not have gotten caught up.
Okay, because I'm really interested in this, because when Stormblood came out, thanks to DDoS attacks and server congestion, there was a solo instance where you would go up to Raban in Stormblood, and it would start an instant story thing.
That's when you fight Blom, the Grinwald.
Yeah, well, that thing was so broken, people couldn't get past it. You would go up to him, it wouldn't work.
That's why that's. I think they explicitly said they were not putting any solo instances early in the expansion for that exact reason.
Yeah.
Which is why I said the Zenos one would be 73 or 74, because that's a ways in.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think, and also luckily, the DDoS attacks that they had scheduled went off the original release date. Because if you don't know, the day that Endwalker was supposed to come out, the game went down for a few hours because it was getting DDoS'd. And everybody was like, those motherfuckers set up an auto DDoS attack.
They're too lazy to ruin an expansion.
So I assume it will be rough.
Mm-hmm.
But like I played World of Warcraft at the launch of multiple expansions. I don't think it's going to be that bad.
Okay. Yeah, but we'll see how things go. I know that 14 has had an explosion of new players since every popular WoW streamer decided to play this game instead. And things have gotten bigger from there, and they haven't been able to add new worlds for people to make characters in, so we'll have to see how that goes. But I'm confident that when I stream it, it won't be that much of a nightmare. Because, of course, I'll stream it. I want fast queue times. Anyway, I guess that'll do it for our Gamer Premonitions mini thing here. Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker.
Yep, please look forward to a spoiler cast, which will be happening.
But yes, in addition to this wonderful podcast of us predicting stuff for Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, this means you can get excited for our spoiler cast. We will do that after we have both finished the expansion. We have some time to let that sit for a little bit. So I imagine it won't take too long after it comes out, but then we'll tackle that.
But who knows? This is supposed to be the biggest one.
Yeah, this is supposed to be
the biggest one.
It will be
in 2021.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Where it's like, we're not going to rush this out within 10 days. We're not animals. But we'll have to see. But we'll be doing a spoiler cast for the expansion. This was a way to get some hype for that, get some last minute premonitions in, so we can have that in the spoiler cast going, man, how wrong were we? But thank you guys so much for listening. If you like this type of content, make sure to, of course, subscribe. Check out patreon.com/gbpodcast for exclusive shows and whatnot. And we will see you guys soon for even more content.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Gamer Premonitions. This show, like our other podcasts, is only possible with the generous time our co-hosts have given to us and the equipment we've bought to make it higher quality and easier to produce. Please consider supporting our podcast series on our GigaBoots podcast Patreon and look forward to more Gamer Premonitions and big things to mention in the future. The executive producers for this month of GigaBoots are Esme, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, Live Action Muito Real, Completely Normal Adam, Cooper Tank, Zilter, and Virvarm. Thank you very much to our executive producers, and also these patrons. If you want to become an executive producer for an obscure but powerful YouTube channel, head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today.